Squire of Hell. By Troy Maverick. Chapter 5. Lady Belmauer cried, her frightened eyes pointing upward. I made a quick grab and retreat, barely noticing the large worm beast crash landing into the terrain. We escaped its strike at the nick of time, my body dipping and rolling at a safe distance where I could keep Faye safe in my arms. But I needed to lure this behemoth away from her, despite its need to track her every turn. Its beady eyes were locked dead center on the girl in the red dress like a raging bull. The creature blended in with the terrain well, coated in various shades of brown and gray, with an armor on its crown that trailed down a halfway point at its wide torso. Its segments were scaly yet metallic, and it even had short yet hairy legs like spiders. But the greatest feature on this ugly monstrosity was its gaping circular mouth, layered with sharp gummy fangs. It screeched, showing us its belly as it stood its towering height. This thing was bigger than the last demon, and I was beginning to think these monsters were low-level savages compared to what else this strange world had to offer. Where the hell were these things coming from? I gritted through my teeth, and then shoved Faye out of the way just as the monster came at her. It was slow for its size, but comparably quick for us. Regardless, I stepped up to the challenge, because I wasn't planning on going out as Worm Chow. I took a running start then leaped right on it, ramming my dagger into its armor. I might have pierced it, but I didn't do much damage. All I managed to do was tick the damn thing off, the beast making a U-turn before bucking upward, and slamming right down again. The impact flung me off. My grip on the armor had wiggled loose, and he sent me flying.
Butcher!
Faye cried, and the beast heard, rushing at her again. Shit, I wasn't going to make it in time. Once I landed on the ground, I bolted, preparing to dive in with a risky approach. Faye, run behind me. I ordered her, the girl hesitating. She must have learned what I was about to do, but I needed her to go along with it if this were going to work. So I shouted at her again, and she did as she was told, rushing right behind me while luring the beast my way. Tee off and dive into the stream, now. The monster gave a piercing battle cry, opening its jowls wide open. I launched myself clean through once I noticed Faye was safely submerged in the stream, flying past the layers of sharp and jagged teeth. I readied myself to slice the beast from the inside. In here, there was little resistance, and no armor, making it easy for me to gut him. Blood and saliva splashed me on the way down, the beast bucking upward, making me dive further. At some point, I hooked onto its flesh to avoid the stomach acid, feeling it thrashing around. I had one shot in my barrel, so I needed to make it count. With one hand hanging on the hilt of my dagger, I pulled my shotgun out, making my best guess as to where his brain was. It was dark, it was slippery, and most of all, it was a bumpy ride. Although, once my round fired, it was lights out for the feisty demonic worm beast. I noticed the scar in the back of my hand glowing again, and the same reaction from before coursed through my veins. Stronger, yeah, I got the pattern, but how was this happening with every kill?
Butcher!
Faye cried. Once the movement died down, I heard her shuffling closer to the monster. She must have still been charmed by whatever she downed in that stream, because the old Lady Belmauer would have never been this brave for my sake. I carved a path upward, going through the teeth would be risky. I was patient and irritated at the same time, losing air fast from the toxicity of the carcass. Once I broke through, I saw Faye climbing up the worm, offering her hand out to me.
I got you.
She smiled, and I didn't hesitate to take her offer. I slid right down along with her, the beautiful blonde with the improved temperament dropping right on my lap with a playful giggle. Her thumb brushed the blood off my forehead, while the rest of her body gave me clear lewd signals.
You're filthy.
She purred.
We need to get you out of those clothes. I couldn't agree more.
A flirty angelic voice said behind us, Faye and I turning around to the half-horse, half-woman clacking her way toward us. I didn't need to ready up my weapon for her, the attractive and bubbly girl in light metal armor was giving off friendly vibes. She had a gentle smile on her that glowed along with the rest of her features, the short pink hair, jade green eyes, and brown horse ears on the sides of her head. The centaurus was a red chestnut horse, and an adult-sized one, too. I wasn't the slightest bit concerned seeing a monster girl around these parts, especially with the few monstrosities Faye and I had to deal with.
You two seem lost.
She cooed, eyeing me up and down lewdly.
Would you like me to help you? Who are you?
Faye asked.
My name is Nayla. Nayla Lee Sherritt Hall. I am one of the many women of my country, Lithuania, the goddess of lust's nation.
The goddess of lust. I raised my brow up, a bunch of questions beginning to populate my head. I started connecting the dots between what had happened to Faye and this goddess of lust business, but I was getting too ahead of myself. Faye and I got up on our feet, and I was ready to nuke this girl with a few suitable questions. But first, I'm Knives Arlian. This here is Lady Faye Belmauer. And I'm pretty sure just by looking at us, you can tell we don't quite fit the description of your people.
I know, you two are humans.
She chortled.
You must have fallen in Relo Hell when one of the demons fell through a rip. But don't worry. That was the last of them. We've been doing a pretty good job patching those random bad boys up.
Last of them? Does that mean that we are stuck here?
Faye yelped, throwing a terrified fit.
In hell?
Not hell, Relo Hell.
Nayla corrected, but it didn't make Faye feel any better about our situation.
Our realm is a step before hell, where all the demons live. Hell is a realm of torment and torture for the afterlife.
All right, things just got a little more confusing here, I said, scrunching my face at Nayla's comment. My voice was still monotone, but I was starting to do a bit of panicking of my own. Nayla had just confirmed that we were now permanent residents of Relo Hell, some type of outworld for demons outside of actual hell. I'm going to need you to start making this make sense. So from the very beginning, where the hell are we? And why are we here?
I'm sorry.
She apologized sweetly, tossing her hands over her cheeks.
I know this can all be very confusing for outsiders. That's why we've been trying to find ways to block off the Earth realm from us demons. Because, as you can imagine, Earthlings aren't ready for that kind of excitement in their normal lives. Plus, some of us look pretty scary. But I digress. Let's talk about the portals. A few of my sisters are pretty advanced alchemists, the types who can transform matter into whatever they desire, which is a rare feat in all of Relo Hell. Lately, we've been noticing portal tiers linking our world to yours. They aren't as random as most demons think, and we've confirmed that one of our enemies has gotten their hands on an even more powerful sorceress to do it for him. With that in mind, no one knows how to control them. But we've been trying to find ways to close them out, because power like that in the wrong hands will prove to be detrimental to not only humans, but to us as well. The reason being is because Relo Hell consists of 7 regions, which are at constant war with each other. And leverage like that could cause a serious stir.
I am following so far.
My sisters have been at it for a while, lacing our realm with spells to strengthen our resistance to these tiers. And finally, we've patched them all up. Unfortunately, we don't know how many demons have gone through to your world, nor do we know just how many humans have been sucked into ours. It is safe to say though, that they didn't survive, not under these dangerous conditions.
About that. I lifted my hand to her, showing her the symbol on my hand that had been glowing ever since I got here. Do you think this has anything to do with it? She gasped.
The goddess of lust's crest of power.
I've noticed on Earth, I couldn't kill a demon who had leaked through from Relo Hell. But when I was portaled in here, all of a sudden, my gunshots meant something. I was able to do damage, same with my dagger. I also noticed that when Faye shot a demon, this thing on my hand didn't glow. It only works when I kill, giving me a power boost with every life I take.
Knives, your weapons have been enchanted with Lady Lust's grace when you stumbled into Relo Hell. You are her legendary lost blood Squire.
She jumped with joy, her supple breasts bouncing along in that flimsy bra armor.
Her Highness's soldier is here to save us from this relentless war. And with perfect timing too. Come, let's ride back to the goddess's home. I will tell you everything you need to know on our way there. You two are pretty lucky that I've been on patrol tonight. It's fate that I was here to bring you home.